Welcome to the Lakers Nation news feed. My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. Interesting topic for today. We're going to be chatting about Julius Randle and his future with the Lakers. Before we get to that, though, today's show is brought to you by MeUndies. Go to MeUndies.com/LakersNation for a pair of underwear and socks that is actually 3 times softer than cotton. And because they're partnering with us, you get 20% off of your first order. Just go to MeUndies.com/LakersNation. I'm a customer myself. I guarantee you will not regret it. That's MeUndies.com/LakersNation, 20% off your order. So Julius Randle, interesting report came out just before the Lakers took on the Boston Celtics on Wednesday night. Unfortunately, a losing effort for the Lakers, but Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN before the game reported that Julius Randle is very unlikely to have a future with the Lakers. And here's what Woj said. He said, Rob Pelinka, their general manager, and Magic Johnson, their president, will be faced with this question. Do they look to trade Randle between now and the February trade deadline and get back potentially a first-round draft pick for him, or do they roll the dice and wait until summer when he's a restricted free agent? A lot to unpack there. Obviously, Woj has a ton of sources throughout the league, so the question is, what is Woj basing this on? Is he basing this on conversations that he's had with agents, with different front offices, whether that be the Lakers front office or opposing front offices? Is it from conversations he's had with Julius Randle himself? Or is this more just an assumption that he's making because of the salary cap and everyone knowing that the Lakers would like to have 2 max salary slots next summer? It could also be all of the above. Could be that he's just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So first of all, let's address the salary cap issue. Is Woj correct? Do the Lakers actually need to move Randle in order to have 2 unrestricted or 2 free agent slots, max free agent slots available? Well, yes and no. It's much easier for the Lakers to get to 2 max slots if the Lakers don't have Julius Randle on the books. There's no question about that. But there actually is a path to keeping Randle and still landing 2 max free agent slots. In order to get 2 max slots, the Lakers are essentially going to need right around $65 million in cap space, which is a lot. And we're talking about if they're going after guys like Paul George, DeMarcus Cousins, and LeBron James. Those are the big 3 that are on the market that are going to be clear max players. Teams will happily hand over a max contract in free agency to those guys. So in order to get that, the Lakers would have to let go of a lot of players. They'd have to let go of guys that are on non-guaranteed contracts. We're talking about Ivica Zubac, who is out of the rotation right now. He'd have to be gone. Thomas Bryant, he'd have to be gone. Tyler Ennis, gone. That would leave them with, at this point, Luol Deng, Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Larry Nance Jr., Kyle Kuzma, and Josh Hart on the books. Now, if you want to hang on to Randle, he's going to be a restricted free agent, assuming they give him a qualifying offer this summer. If they give him a qualifying offer, then Randle's cap hold, the amount of space that he takes up, will be $12.5 million. So that's a pretty good chunk of change. If they just let Randle walk, obviously they don't have that cap hold on the books if they just renounce their rights to him or if they trade him. So that would help them free up a little bit of room. But the other route that they could go is if they were managed to move Jordan Clarkson instead. Jordan Clarkson is on the books for $12.5 million next season and $13.4 million the season after. So if they can move Jordan Clarkson to a team and not take back any salary that would bleed through into the 2018-2019 season. So we're talking about an expiring contract. Perhaps they could get a pick for him and a contract or something like that. If they can do that, that would wipe off that $12.5 million, right? Getting closer to that money that they would need. The next hurdle to clear, and this is a big one, is Luol Deng. On my last show, I brought on Keith Smith of Real GM, and he is a salary cap expert. We broke down all the options of what the Lakers can do with Luol Deng, who is rumored to want out of LA. So if you haven't listened to that show, go check it out because we go in detail into everything that the Lakers could possibly do with Luol Deng. But in a nutshell, Deng has $18 million for next season. He has $18.8 million the season after. That's a lot of money. Teams aren't going to want to take that on for a guy who can't even crack the Lakers rotation. But perhaps they could convince a team to take him on by offering up an unprotected first-round pick, perhaps a player like Josh Hart, and a pick, something to that effect. Or they could potentially buy Deng out if they can get Deng to give back a little bit of money in exchange for him becoming a free agent. We saw this happen with Dwayne Wade in the Chicago Bulls. Dwayne Wade actually gave back about $8 million in order to become a free agent, and that came off of the Bulls' books. So perhaps the Lakers could do that, and then they could stretch Deng's salary out over the next 5 seasons, and that would lower the cap hit. Now, if they did that, both those things, let's say they stretch Deng and they lower Jordan, or they get rid of Jordan Clarkson, then you're at least in the vicinity to where you could possibly hang on to Julius Randle. If you can get somebody just to take Deng, to absorb his salary, you can convince them to do that by parting with a draft pick or something like that, and move Clarkson, then you're right there. You're going to have some unused roster spots that would take up some money because there is an open or an empty salary slot charge or an empty roster slot charge. So that would hit the cap as well. But still, if they were able to clear both of those salaries off the books completely, then they would be in actually pretty good shape to land 2 guys like, say, Paul George and DeMarcus Cousins, and still keep Julius Randle. They would still have enough money left on the books to do that. Now, will they? See, the Lakers would have to be extremely motivated to do something like that because it's going to cost a lot to move Luol Deng. It's going to cost a lot one way or another, no matter what they do. If they decide to buy him out and then stretch the remaining salary, that's dead money on the books. Not good, not something that teams want. If they try to trade him, it's going to cost them a lot. It's going to cost them picks. It might cost them players. They would have to be very, very motivated to hang on to Julius Randle in order to have them free up enough space to really do that, to keep his $12.5 million salary cap hold on the books and then sign him to a long-term deal. So, just so it's clear, it is possible for the Lakers to keep Randle and still go after their max free agents. But again, they have to be very, very motivated to do so. So that begs the question, are they? Are they motivated to keep Randle? Right now, all indications point to no, and this could be why Woj is reporting that Randle is very unlikely to stay with the Lakers past this season. Here's the evidence that says that the Lakers are not all that interested in hanging on to Julius Randle. It's primarily looking at his minutes and his role. Julius Randle has been bumped to the backup center position, and he's actually been playing very, very well. We're seeing him do Draymond Green-esque things out there. I mean, that's exactly what people have been hoping to see from Julius Randle, and his minutes have plummeted. He's playing some of the best basketball of his career right when he needs to be. He's in a contract year, and yet his minutes have dropped by over 10 minutes per game compared to last season. He's only averaging 18.6 minutes per game right now. Now, on the surface, you may look at that and you say, hey, well, you know what? The Lakers have some other guys who need minutes. They had Larry Nance in there. They've got Kyle Kuzma now, who's got to get minutes. They've got to develop him. You've got Brook Lopez at center. That guy needs minutes. There's plenty of minutes available if the Lakers want to give them to Julius Randle. Let's break it down real quick here. So Julius Randle has 2 possible positions he could play. He can play power forward or he can play center. That's it. You're not going to play him at small forward. He can play those 2 spots and those 2 spots only. If you give Randle all the minutes at center that Brook Lopez does not eat up, which really should be the case. Right now, the Lakers are feeding some minutes here and there to Andrew Bogut. Probably shouldn't be happening. Maybe in some extreme situations where you really need a big body, then you can throw Bogut in there. But for the most part, Randle should be getting all the minutes that Brook Lopez does not take at center. So how many minutes is that? Well, right now, Brook Lopez is averaging 25.5 minutes at center. So let's just say 25 minutes just to keep the math nice and easy. So there's 48 minutes available at center in a given NBA game. Brook Lopez is eating up 25 of them. That, of course, would then leave 23 minutes per game at center for Julius Randle, already more minutes than he is getting right now on average. But that's not where it stops, Because at power forward right now, the Lakers are missing Larry Nance Jr., who is out due to a broken hand. Kyle Kuzma is not going to eat up 48 minutes per game at power forward. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen even for a guy in the prime of his career. You're not going to do that, definitely to a rookie. So instead, Kyle Kuzma, let's say max, he eats up 35 minutes. 35 minutes per night for Kyle Kuzma. That leaves 13 minutes left over at the power forward spot. Take those 13 minutes, give those to Randle. Next thing you know, Randle has 13 plus the 23 that he picked up at center, and Julius Randle is now playing 36 minutes per game. Now, that may actually be too much. I mean, Randle is the type of player that you want to have fresh. You want to have him sprinting up and down the floor. You want him making athletic plays on defense. That may even be too many minutes to throw at him. Fine. Drop it down to 30. The bottom line is still that there are plenty of minutes there available for Julius Randle, but right now, he's not getting them. He's only playing, again, on average, a little over 18 minutes per game, 18.6 per game. And even against the Boston Celtics on Wednesday night in a losing effort, Julius Randle was arguably the best player. You could make an argument for Brandon Ingram, but arguably the best player on the floor for the Lakers, and he still only played 21 minutes. It was a real head scratcher, and it's been one of the biggest complaints about Luke Walton and his coaching staff so far this season is that Julius Randle is not getting more minutes despite playing such good basketball on both ends of the floor. He's playing great defense, and he's doing some nice things out there offensively as well. So the Lakers clearly aren't committed to feeding minutes to Julius Randle because they definitely could. They could give him more minutes. The minutes are there. They're just not trickling down to him for whatever reason. It's not happening. Luke Walton said against the Celtics that he wanted a big body to throw out there. He wanted to have somebody who was physical and aggressive and everything, but Andrew Bogut has not been that effective. So this could change. I'm saying all this, I don't mean to rip on the Lakers too much here because this could very well change. I mean, Luke Walton could change his rotation tomorrow. He could change it right away, and Julius Randle could suddenly be getting a lot more minutes, and then the situation looks a lot better. But right now, it just doesn't feel like the Lakers are all that committed to giving minutes to Julius Randle. I mean, Larry Nance Jr., when he went down, they stuck with Kyle Kuzma, or they went with Kyle Kuzma as the starting power forward, which is fine. That's understandable. I'm 100% behind that move. Makes a lot of sense to keep Randle in that backup center role that he's been thriving in, but there are more minutes out there that you could be giving him, and you'd probably be making the team better if you did give him those minutes. Even if you only bumped him to 25 or gave him what he got last year, which was 28, almost 29. That's enough to where he's making more of an impact out there on the floor, and you're going to get to see him flourish a bit more. For Randle's side of things, he's got to be a bit frustrated. He's in a contract year. This is his time to shine. This is his time to really show what he's got. His next contract is on the line right now, and the Lakers are not giving him the minutes to really show what he can do. So if you're Julius Randle and you're going into the summer, or if you're Julius Randle and you are coming up on the trade deadline, do you even want to stay with the Lakers at this point if things continue along this path? And perhaps that's something that is factoring in to Woj's report as well. Maybe Julius Randle doesn't like coming off the bench as a center. Again, I'm speculating here, but perhaps he doesn't like coming off the bench as a center. He probably doesn't have the career goal of being a sixth man. He probably would like to start at some point. He has said that he most cares about the team getting wins and everything, but I'm sure, like most players, he would prefer to be a starter. Is he a starting center in the NBA? Probably not. So if the Lakers have decided that he needs to spend most of his minutes at center, which isn't a terrible decision, he's probably not going to win that starting spot, at least not with LA. There's too many teams that have a DeMarcus Cousins, that have a big man that can take advantage of him in the post because he's just not that huge. He's not one of these behemoths that you see on some teams. So him being a full-time starting center is probably not going to happen. He's probably not going to get that job. So if that's the case, and the Lakers have decided that it's time to part ways with Julius Randle and that they're going to use him to help clear cap space, then maybe we see Randle shipped out. Maybe we see him attached to Luol Deng in order to help clear space. Maybe he's an incentive for a team to take on Luol Deng. Maybe they use Randle to get a draft pick that they can then attach to the contract of Luol Deng and clear more space. Perhaps the Lakers are looking at him in that light Woj did mention that they are looking at a lot of different options to try to clear enough space to get at least one, maybe even two of those max salary slots available. So there's a lot going on here. And right now, as good as the play we're seeing from Julius Randle is, it just doesn't feel like he's part of this long-term future for whatever reason. And Woj's report just kind of confirms that. Wherever he's getting his sources from does suggest that Julius Randle is not part of the long-term future of the Los Angeles Lakers. Again, as I said, that can change overnight. But for right now, it does seem the Woj is on the money, and we may be seeing the final year in purple and gold from Julius Randle. That's going to about wrap things up for me today. Again, keep an eye on this situation with Randle. Very fluid, could change, but we'll see. My name is Trevor Lane. Follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. And don't forget to go rate, review, and subscribe to this show on iTunes. And head to LakersNation.com for all your latest Lakers news, whether it's Randle information or anything else. You can find it on LakersNation.com. That's it for today. See ya.